Not all forests are made for wandering. Some are meant to be avoided. There are places on this earth where the air feels heavier, where the light never quite reaches, and where the trees seem to listen. These forests don't just exist, they hunger. For centuries, whispers of their cursed grounds have spread. Stories of people vanishing without a trace, of search parties finding nothing but abandoned belongings and footprints that simply stop. The kind of places where even animals stay silent, as if they know they shouldn't be there. These are not just legends, they are warnings. Tonight, we will step into 3 of the most haunted forests in the world. Places where those who enter are never seen again. The first, a forest where the trees are said to whisper your name before you disappear. The second, a place shrouded in a crimson mist that leaves no trace of its victims. And the third, a shadowed grove so cursed even sunlight refuses to touch it. Stay with me if you dare, but don't look behind you, because once these stories begin, something might be listening. Storytelling sequence, the Blackwood Thicket. The Blackwood Thicket, a place so feared that for centuries locals have refused to speak its name. Stories of its cursed trees and the travelers who vanish without a trace have been passed down through generations. Some say the forest is alive, that it traps the souls of those who dare to enter. Others believe it's a portal to something far worse. The earliest records of the Blackwood Thicket date back to the 16th century, when a traveling monk noted in his journal that the forest's air was heavy with the smell of decay, even in the heart of spring. "There is no light here," he wrote, "only shadows that do not belong." Over time, the stories grew darker. Some claimed to hear voices calling their names from the forest, even when they were miles away. Others spoke of trees with bark that seemed to bleed when touched. And then there were the disappearances, travelers who ventured too close and were never seen again. In the winter of 1874, a team of 5 woodcutters entered the Blackwood Thicket to clear paths for a railway. They were warned not to go, but the promise of payment outweighed their fear. Days turned into weeks, and when they failed to return, a search party was sent to retrieve them. What the search party found was beyond explanation. The men's tools were there, perfectly arranged in a circle, as if someone or something had placed them. Nearby, they discovered a diary belonging to one of the men. It was the only clue left behind. Day 3. We've been hearing strange noises at night. At first, we thought it was just the wind, but now it sounds like voices. Day 5. The trees. They seem to shift when we aren't looking. I swear I saw something moving between the shadows. We aren't alone here. The final entry in the diary sent chills through the villagers. Day 7. The forest. It's alive. If anyone finds this, don't come looking for us. It's too late. The search party never found the woodcutters. The only thing they brought back was the diary, and a story that haunts the village to this day. Visitors to the Blackwood Thicket today report the same phenomena: whispers in the wind, shadows that follow, and the overwhelming feeling that something is watching. Some claim to see faces in the trees, faces twisted in agony, as though they belong to those who never returned. If you ever find yourself near the Blackwood Thicket, remember this: the trees are not just trees, and if you hear your name whispered in the wind, don't answer, because once you step into the Blackwood Thicket, you may never come out. Storytelling sequence: the Crimson Hollow. In the heart of Appalachia lies Crimson Hollow, a forest so shrouded in mystery that even locals refuse to speak its name after dark. It earned its name from the blood-red mist that envelops the forest each night, a mist that no wind can disperse and no light can penetrate. During the 1700s, colonial settlers ventured into this forest, drawn by rumors of fertile land. What they found, according to the legends, was something else entirely. Weeks after entering the forest, entire groups returned, changed, their eyes hollow, their words incomprehensible. Some whispered of hearing voices calling to them from the mist. Others claimed to see figures beckoning them deeper. By the time winter arrived, most had vanished entirely. The most chilling accounts come from survivors who spoke of rituals performed deep within the forest. They described circles of stones stained with something dark, symbols etched into the bark of ancient trees, and a presence, something they could feel watching them even when they were alone. In the summer of 1985, David Miller, an experienced hiker and amateur photographer, set out to explore Crimson Hollow. Friends described him as cautious and well-prepared, someone who always carried more than he needed. But that summer, David ventured into the forest alone and never came out. Months later, a search team combing the area stumbled upon David's camera, lying in a bed of crimson leaves. What they found inside it was more disturbing than anything they could have imagined. The footage became darker, both literally and figuratively. At one point, the mist thickened, turning the screen a deep, unnatural red. David's voice became frantic, his breathing ragged. Then came the final shot. Authorities who reviewed the footage noted something terrifying. In the mist, they claimed to see faces, many faces, but none of them were David's. To this day, his body has never been found, and no one has dared venture into Crimson Hollow to search for answers. Crimson Hollow is not just a forest, it is a threshold, a place where reality frays, where time bends, and where something ancient lies waiting in the mist. Those who enter are never the same if they return at all. Would you dare to step into the red mist, knowing that faces in the shadows might not be your own? Perhaps one day someone will uncover the truth, but until then, Crimson Hollow remains an enigma and a graveyard for the curious. Do you think David Miller's fate was sealed by the mist? Or was it something far worse? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't miss our final forest. It's one you won't believe exists. Storytelling sequence, The Shadow Grove. In the remote mountains of Honshu lies Kagemori, known to the locals as the Shadow Grove. For centuries, this forest has been shunned, not out of fear of wild animals, but because of something far more sinister. According to ancient texts, the Shadow Grove is haunted by the spirits of dishonored samurai, their shame and anger binding them to the land for eternity. During the Sengoku period, it is said that disgraced warriors would enter the grove to take their own lives, hoping to find redemption. But instead of peace, their spirits became trapped, angry, vengeful, and eager to claim others who wandered into their domain. In 2012, Mika Tanaka, an aspiring photographer, set out to document the untouched beauty of Japan's hidden forests. Her friends begged her to stay away from the Shadow Grove, warning her of the legends. But Mika was drawn to its mystery, determined to capture what others feared to see. What started as a peaceful hike quickly turned into something far more unsettling. Mika's journal, found near the edge of the forest, tells a chilling tale of what happened next. Mika's final journal entry was short, written in shaky handwriting. "It's here. I can feel it. I shouldn't have come." Experts who analyzed the photo found no evidence of tampering. What's more disturbing is that no footprints, other than Mika's, were found at the site. To this day, no one knows what the figure in the photograph was, or where Mika went. The Shadow Grove is a place where the light of day cannot protect you, where the shadows themselves become predators. Mika Tanaka's story is just one of many, and the forest remains waiting for its next visitor. What do you think Mika saw in the Shadow Grove? Could it have been the spirits of dishonored samurai? Or is there something even darker lurking there? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of the unexplained. Three forests, three cursed places, each harboring unspeakable horrors. The Blackwood thicket traps its victims in eternal whispers, Crimson Hollow swallows souls in its blood-red mist, and the Shadow Grove devours those who dare to disturb its silence. These aren't just places on a map. They're reminders of something darker, something primal. Perhaps these forests weren't meant to be explored. Perhaps they exist as gateways to something we, the living, were never meant to understand. Or is it us, the living, who don't belong there? But here's the thing. These stories don't just end with those who vanish. There are those who claim the forest called to them, a strange urge to return, whispers that beckon them back. Could it be that those who enter never truly leave? Which of these haunted forests would terrify you the most? Let us know in the comments and share your own encounters with the supernatural. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join us on our next journey into the unknown. Next time, we'll uncover the most haunted houses you should never step foot in. Until then, stay safe and stay in the light.